Welcome to week 5, my 102ers. Honestly, I think this might be a pretty quick one today. Why? By the time you watch this, if any of you are actually watching this, that is, the Super Bowl will be over and the Olympics will be in full swing. This year, I actually care so much more about the Olympics than this stupid old Super Bowl. The only reason I actually care about the game is for the pregame and halftime shows. Pregame show are these gentlemen right here, Green Day. And the halftime show, well, that was the gentleman you just saw, Bad Bunny. Everything else, who cares? So, by the way, since I'm talking about the Olympics, stay tuned to see what sort of extra credit you might be able to get. Seriously, keep watching. Anyway, here we are in week 5, a third of the way through the semester, and we are well on our way to solidifying our topics and our ideas. Now, as you can see in this week's announcement, well, really there's not a lot to stress about. Yes, there are a few things to look over. 1, 2. And only one thing to complete. Hey, look, there it is. So, we'll get to that in a little bit more detail. So, this is the weekly announcement. Hope you all know it and love it because I do my best to link everything here. If you have questions on it, email me, but only after you look through it the first time. I still want to show you our masterclass schedule, so slide on over to the right. Click on this link, and boom, there we go. Scroll all the way down to week number 5. Hey, look, there it is. And there we go. 2 documents to look over that we're going to talk about, and 1 small organizer to complete. In order to get this video over with quickly, let's just get started, okay? So, in reading your sources, there it is. It's a basic rehash of something I've actually been taught since the beginning. And I remember being taught to me as early as junior high, the 3 stages of reading. It doesn't matter how you remember it. For example, it was always pre-reading, reading, and post-reading for me. But it falls down to a very simple set of ideas. First, you're going to want to skim over your material to see just what jumps out at you. Read the title, the author blurb that sometimes appears at the beginning of the article. Usually it's in smaller italicized font that everyone ignores. And then notice all the bolding, the section headers, the inserts, pretty much anything that grabs your attention. By doing that, you'll have somewhat of an idea about what's coming next. Next, you're going to slow down and really read it. Don't just run your eyes over it and think about other things. Seriously, if you're not soaking it in, you're not reading. If you have to ask yourself, what in God's name did I just read at the end of a page because you were thinking of the Olympics? You know, my favorite Olympic winter sport has to be bobsledding. That's right, bobsledding. Did you hear that? My favorite winter sport in the Olympics is bobsledding. Now that you've heard that, send me an email and tell me what my favorite winter sport is. And you might find yourself with a very happy instructor, maybe a couple of extra points here or there. Let me know. Regardless, if your brain is not soaking in what you're reading, what your eyes are just glancing over, then you've not been doing what you were supposed to do. Just because you're moving your eyes over something doesn't mean that your brain is working. It's time now to do both. So this section is where you pay attention. Annotate and take notes. Remember, annotate comes from the Latin annotatus, which means noted down, literally. So, ask questions. Highlight. Ask questions. Look things up. Ask questions. And, there's one other thing. Ask questions! The more questions that you can ask yourself, the more you will look up. The more you look up, the better you will understand things. Lastly, you will want to go over these questions that you ask and answer the ones that haven't been already answered. That's right, the rereading section. You will try and make sense of the things that you haven't quite grasped yet. Those are the 3 stages, regardless of how they are worded, and they help out quite a bit, okay? Down here, you can see actually more detailed directions to ask, and more directions for stage 3, but I think we covered it nicely, don't you? Okay, enough self-aggrandizing. Let's continue. For planning your comparative research essay, oh look, there it is. there are 5 expandable boxes which attempt to direct you down the path of getting this thing right. Oh, look, there are the 5 expandable boxes. Okay? Remember, your topic needs to be assertive, so you need to know the angle which you want to go in. Be sure that your audience sees the direction that you're heading in, right? You have your angle. You're selecting relevant background information to help them understand what direction you are heading in, okay? And you're clearly moving in that direction by taking these steps. So we can also choose the evidence to discuss there, because that is so important. This is not a straight informational paper. Once you remind yourself of that angle, you'll want to ask one very important question. Oh God, no. It is not who let the dogs out. You are all much too young to remember this damn song, but it was everywhere in the early 2000s. I mean, good Lord on high. It was in commercials. It was in TV. It was in comedies. It was in dramas. It was in cartoons. It was everywhere. It was in old people commercials. I mean, honestly, you could not escape it no matter how hard you tried. No. The question I want you to ask yourself is, if I were ignorant of this topic, what would I want to know in order to move forward? If you can help your reader get a little experience with your topic, you can guide them to the ideas that you feel are important. You can show them the evidence that makes the most sense and is relevant to your angle, and you can start to create your own world for them to walk in. That is writing, folks. Your world building. You want your reader to forget about their daily lives and live and breathe what you provide for them. I know that sounds a little creepy and narcissistic, but think about the best books you've ever read. It's almost a letdown when you finish, isn't it? So, you've got all of this material here that you can look at. When we're talking about synthesize, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So if we go back and we start talking about the actual assignment for the week, we're going to have the Unit 2 selection and article selection and comparing author perspectives brainstorming. This one, okay? Now, you're going to want to clearly illustrate the links between the 2 sources that you find and how they deal with your topic in this article, or in this assignment, excuse me. So, first, you're going to want to click this link here and download a beautiful and gorgeous worksheet. Yep, it looks just like this. There was another template for this that someone else made up, but I hated it. I redid it. Now it looks like this, and it's beautiful and gorgeous and amazing and wonderful. I mean, I don't want to brag, but I'm awesome. Anyway, let's get back to that in just a second. You're going to want to find 2 new articles for your topic. 2 new articles, meaning you cannot reuse the ones that you used in Unit 1. You will put them in your back pocket and save them. You need 2 new articles, the same topic that you used for Unit 1, but 2 new articles. The goal is to explore and compare the author's viewpoints of your topic, so honestly, each article must point to a different side. One is A, one is B, one is up, one is down, one is black, one is white, one is north, one is south. You get my point, okay? When you do that, I want you to remember that your articles should have the authors clearly named. Do not give me one that doesn't have an author. They should be between 2 and 4 pages. Nothing too short, nothing too long. They should be news or magazine articles. And if that article happens to be extremely long with chapters, find a new one. They should convey an opinion or a stance on the issue. Do not give me a straight informational article, okay? The authors are trying to argue something. The articles should not be short, should not be less than 1 page, should not be an excerpt or a chapter from a book, should not be straight, informative, and neutral. They should not come from University Wire. If you see something from University Wire, don't use it. These are student authors who don't have the experience or the credibility yet. And of course, they should not be older than 5 years unless I approve it first. This means nothing older than January 1st, 2021. Are we understanding this? Fantastic. So go back up here, make sure that you have this worksheet opened up. which looks just like this. And then you are going to take the 2 articles that you find and you're going to put your rhetorical information right here in these 2 boxes. Just like I have in this example here. I have the title of the article, the URL of the article, the web address. Title, web address. The author or authors will go here, and the year of publication will go here. This is a sample or an example, which is why I can get away with giving you an older source. So we're looking at this and saying, okay, we've got in defense of binge watching. Binge watching isn't so bad. Wait, there's a problem about binge watching. Binge watching is bad. So now we have 2 different sides, okay? Step 1, relatively easy. Just find 2 sources of opposing viewpoints. Then step 2 is where it gets a little bit dicey. The first part, hey, guess what? In this first row here, source 1, source 2. We're going to take the information from source 1 and plop it right here. Title, author, year, URL. Title, author, year, URL. Okay? You're going to go down here and you're going to do that with yours. Title, author, year, URL. Title, author, year, URL. Then I want you to come up with a minimum of 3 questions that both articles answer in their own way. 3 questions that both articles answer in their own way. Do not give me a question that is only answered in one article, but not both. Pick a question that you can generate that can be answered in both articles. This is not something that ChatGPT can help you with. They are not going to understand what the similarities are in these 2 articles. So read the 2 articles, find out what both of them talk about, and then ask the question. When you ask the question, you will answer it by giving direct quotes and then a little citation in here, okay? So we have direct quotes. We have it came from paragraph 7 and 8. We have a big direct quote. We came from paragraph 4. What is the opinion of binge watching? Okay, well, Cohen has these direct quotes. In-text citation, in-text citation. What's her name? Dodgson. Dodgson has these ideas, direct quotes, in-text citation. Why do people binge watch? Oh, well, Cohen says this. Quote, 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 citation, citation, citation. Dodgson says it this way. Oh, look. Quote, citation. You are going to generate 3 questions right here that are answered in both articles in different ways. Okay? And then you are going to provide in-text citations within here. So basically, if you go up here and copy the gray boxes into here and make sure that your articles follow that, you'll be fine. Down here, you're going to look at the gray boxes here and you're going to generate them here. That's all you're going to do for the week, okay? I know it seems a little bit easy, but it's not. For those of you who think it's a little bit difficult, it's not. It's just going to take a little bit of thought, okay? You will do just fine. So that way, it will start you thinking about both sides and how they really aren't as far apart as you might think. The next step, which you will tackle next week, will be you creating new ideas from these concepts. That's synthesis, friends. Remember that Lego talk we had last week? Oh, excellent. You do care. That's so sweet. And that's good, folks. We are done for the week. Hopefully you are doing your work before Sunday. I mean, you have 7 days, which is 168 hours, which, well, technically it's 167 hours, 58 minutes, and 59 seconds. So just get it done early. Otherwise, you'll be missing all sorts of weekly fun. Have a great week. See ya, and this is less than 15 minutes.